Welcome to Sinister Heroes. I'm your host, Danny Iniquitous. Thank you for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, this is a channel about Dungeons and Dragons where we try and take a darker tone with everything we do here. So if you like edgier kind of content, definitely hit that like and subscribe button. A big thank you to our Patreon supporters. We love you guys. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. It's really an amazing thing what you do for us, and we are so grateful for it. If you're interested in becoming a Patreon supporter, the link is in the description, as well as the link to our good friends at Critical Failures. Check us out Wednesday nights as we do a live stream game. With all that out of the way, we're going to talk about a big, scary space hippos. We're talking about the GIFF. The GIFF are big hippo people. It's awesome. They are very unique looking. They are usually oriented around using firearms. It's something that's really heavy in Spelljammer, and there are rules for it. It kind of works the same way. You just gotta get used to some of the terminology and how the weapons work, but it's not super complicated. They are kind of more oriented towards that kind of societal belief system. They are very combat oriented. They're very militaristic, I should say, more than combat oriented. They are one of the cool things about them is how they see other races. Like, most of the time they don't care. They're not necessarily bad people. They're just not. They just don't like things that are bigger than them. And if you're bigger than a hippo, like, you're pretty big. And they have, like, my favorite thing about them as far as their interactions with other species is that they tend to just complain about the fragility of the small races. And I love that. Because there's nothing better than insulting a gnome or a halfling. But that being aside, they do really well with organizations, belief systems, and species that are very heavily militaristic. Like Githyanki are really along that line. Hobgoblins are along that line, and I do love them both. I love hobgoblins more, but that's just a personal belief. It is important to know that they do come from Spelljammer, but they don't really have their own homeland. They're all just adventurers. They collect weapons and armors and places from, like, pieces of cultural artifacts that they come from. I think of, like, the old stereotype of, like, the British hunter that goes to Africa to hunt wild beasts. Like, that's kind of like the feel I get for the GIF, which is really unique as far as some of the other species, because it's more technologically involved and advanced to kind of have that availability. Like, they're all trained with explosives and gunpowder and firearms because that's inherent to them. So it's kind of like the most modern version of, like, a species. The GIF have an astral spark. Your psychic connection to the astral plane enables you to mystically access a spark of divine power, which you can channel through your weapons. When you hit a target with a simple or martial weapon, you can cause the target to take extra force damage equal to your proficiency bonus. You can use this trait a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, but you can use it no more than once per turn, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. Extra damage is great. Everybody loves that. It's just cool. Like, you just shoot somebody and it hits that much harder. You do have firearms mastery. You have a mystical connection to firearms that traces back to the gods of the GIF who delighted in such weapons. You have proficiency with all firearms and ignore the loading property of any firearm. In addition, attacking at long range with a firearm doesn't impose disadvantage on your attack roll. And then finally, you gain Hippo build. You have advantage on strength-based ability checks and strength saving throws. In addition, you count as one size larger when determining your carrying capacity and the way you can push, drag, or lift. Hippo build is great. The thing that really kind of just it's so, like, unique to me is firearms mastery as a trait for the GIFs. Right? You're a hippo. You are designed after a very dangerous animal that is the #1 killer in Africa. Like, it is super territorial, it is super strong, and it is vicious and ferocious. And yet you're designed to take a divine stance of being ranged. Like, it's kind of how you're built around, and how you're encouraged to go that direction, because you kind of miss out severely if you don't take firearms mastery and you don't take you don't have the option. Obviously it comes with your character, but you don't use firearms. It's really it's really an interesting concept. That you would be built that way, especially considering you have hippo build, so you are stronger than any other thing that's kind of within your field, which is really a unique concept. But again, they're cool looking hippo people. They're scary. They're oddly also very mostly vegetarian, which is an odd thing to put. But yeah, no, you'd rather eat plants than people, but you will murk a person. Hippos! GIFF. It's a unique thing. It's so great to see some of these exotic species out in games. It is just so awesome. In the live stream game that we're in, one of the people I play with is a loxodon, and I just can't get over it. Like, I'm so happy about it. That being said, it's such a great thing to see unique races pop up and species pop up, because there's a good, exciting thing when you get to see these awesome things that you don't see normally. Like, get weird with it. It's D&D. You're meant to be a little weird with it. Have some fun, experiment a little bit. Maybe you might really love being them. It's so cool. That you're a hippo person, and then you kind of just walk around like a hunter with a shotgun. It's so great. It's like you're quail hunting through life. It's awesome. Definitely, if you've made it this far in the video, hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps the video perform well and helps the channel out a lot. Definitely share, let your friends see it. Definitely get the word out about us. It definitely helps. And a big thank you to our Patreon supporters. Again, what you do for us is amazing. We love you guys. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. If you yourself are interested in becoming a Patreon supporter, the link is in the description. Definitely check that out, as well as the link to our live stream game that we're a part of over at Critical Failures. Check us out every Wednesday night. And thank you for giving a spooky kid a chance.